Hello, people. How are you doing today? It's Michaela Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist, and I hope you all are doing well today. In case you're unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science, and just completed a master's in medical cannabis science and therapeutics. I am live on my Instagram. I will save this and repost it to my YouTube, so make sure you follow me in both places. On YouTube, The Body Scientist 81, and on IG, The Body Scientist. Hey, how are you? For those of you who are familiar with me, you know that I'm very anti-pharmaceutical. Some of you may be new to me, so you don't know that. So for me, my background being in exercise and sports science, strength and conditioning, nutrition, I've always been about optimal performance of the body. And when something is wrong, I always feel like your body's trying to tell you something. It's one thing if you get into like a freak accident, okay, or something hits you, you have an acute injury, that's different. But when people have aches and pains and this hurts and that's not, it's your body telling you something's off balance, okay? So, when I was in the 7th grade, I got addicted to Advil, okay, because I had headaches. I would take an Advil, have a headache, take an Advil, and next thing you know, it might have been my twin brother who noticed I was taking Advil like every day. I didn't know I was addicted. He noticed it. My mom took me to the doctor. The doctor said, oh yeah, it's something called the rebound effect, right? He said, if you have a headache, and you just take Advil a couple times, you get something called the rebound effect, where if you don't take it, you get a headache. And that's what true addiction is, okay? That's what caffeine does, especially in coffee, which is why I'm not a coffee drinker anymore. Caffeine is highly addictive. When I was a coffee drinker, I never drank more than 1 cup of coffee a day. I was never one of those people that was drinking 2, 3, 4 cups, which is crazy. But I used to drink like 1 cup a day, and then just not drinking that 1 cup, I would have a terrible headache. That's addiction. Now you need the coffee to take the pain away, okay? And so I have not been a coffee drinker for about a decade. I still drink caffeine, but I drink yerba mate and matcha, okay? Which to me is more gentle than coffee. And I didn't drink coffee for years. Like in the past couple of months, I might have had a couple of cups after like a decade, but I would never, and now when I drink it, it feels like a drug. It is so strong. So I feel like the caffeine in coffee is so strong that it's addictive. And again, addiction is not just that you're craving something. It's that you get sick if you don't consume it, right? And you have to consume that thing to make the sickness go away. So from the time I was in the 7th grade and I got addicted to Advil, found this out, I learned about the rebound effect. From that point, I just said, you know what? I started to question, like, why is that happening? And let me try to figure that out. Thank you for the compliment, Ryan. Let me try to figure it out. And so, 10th grade biology, I learned about why we shouldn't use antibacterial soap, okay? Hand sanitizers and antibacterial stuff, it destroys your microbiome. It completely, not only destroys your microbiome, but it contributes to superbugs. So we have these super strains of bacteria that do not react to antibiotics anymore. We have super strains of viruses. All of that comes from the overuse of antibiotics and antivirals. Now, there are natural things that kill bacteria and natural things that kill viruses, like lauric acid in coconut oil, like properties in garlic, aloe vera, okay? There's a lot of natural antibacterial agents, and they don't cause that problem. They don't destroy your microbiome, and they don't cause the infectious organisms to mutate. But the artificial antibacterial agents do, right? So from that point, I became very much against antibiotics. And fast forward to in college, now I take microbiology. And I learned more about microbiomes. And I remember my microbiology professor said to me, humans act like bacteria is all up in our world. And we're always trying to kill bacteria and get rid of bacteria. We're freaked out by it. But she said, really, we're in their world. There's bacteria all over everything. There's bacteria in the hottest parts of the earth, the coldest parts of the earth. the most acidic parts, the most alkaline parts. It doesn't matter. Bacteria is everywhere. So we are in their world. So we have to learn to coexist. So our microbiome is critically important, right? So that just further fortified me not using antibacterial agents and taking antibiotics. I do not. Then, after college, I read a book called Patient Heal Thyself by a man named Jordan S. Rubin. He's a person that really taught me about homeostatic soil organisms. He has a line of supplements called Garden of Life. My favorite thing from Garden of Life is their probiotic line. I don't really mess with the other supplements, but their probiotics are top tier. And I have used them and have other people have used them to get rid of a lot of things, okay? Including, I developed a shrimp allergy when I was in college. I grew up eating shellfish, okay? My dad's from Florida, so I grew up eating shellfish, and then all of a sudden, in college, I ate some shrimp and I got an allergic reaction. And they told me if you eat it again, you know, you can have a really bad anaphylactic shock. Jordan S. Rubin taught me about how an imbalance of gut bacteria can cause food allergies because you have this candida yeast in your gut that grows out of control. It grows branches, pokes holes into your intestines, food leaks through, and then you get food allergies. So almost anybody who has food allergies has an imbalance in their gut, leaky gut, okay? So I'll start learning these things, okay? So all that just fortified. And then as I'm learning these things, I'm also thinking, okay, when I get a headache, is it the food that I'm eating? Like, what is it? Now, over the years, I have come to realize that when I get a headache, because I've always had an issue with headaches, I was never diagnosed with migraines, but I can tell you I do get migraines sometimes if I don't catch it before it gets really bad. And that they're like debilitating. And I could go months and not have headaches, and then all of a sudden I have one, right? And usually when I get a headache, I'm either chronically sleep deprived for like a few days. I have not gotten enough sleep, and maybe I was also doing a lot. Because when you're physically exerting yourself, like I'm dancing a lot and working out a lot, working out hard, you really need sleep then so your body can repair itself. So if I'm chronically sleep deprived and doing a lot, haven't been eating enough, okay, and sometimes I'm doing a lot and haven't eaten enough, because when you're also very active, it requires more food, okay, more protein, more fat, more calories, more nutrients. Or I could be chronically dehydrated, okay, and dehydration is not about drinking water. It's about electrolytes and your blood sugar levels and electrolytes like potassium and sodium. So drinking water is not what solves dehydration at all, okay? So it's one of those three things, usually when I get a headache, that I can pinpoint this is why. And I can sometimes feel it when it's coming on. And if I do something, what I try to do is I try to get it before it gets too bad. So I always try to correct what the issue is. So I know if I haven't eaten, I try to eat. Now, when it gets into migraines can make you nauseous. And then it's like I don't even want to eat because I feel sick even though I need to eat. I just feel my stomach feels ugh, right? And then you can't even look at anything. So I try to prevent it from getting to that point, but there's times that it does get to that point, right? So what I do is I try to fix whether I think I'm dehydrated. I'll drink some coconut water or some watermelon juice. Those are the two best things to hydrate. So I'll drink some coconut water, some watermelon juice. I'll try to go to sleep, okay? Or if it's the food, I eat something nourishing. Also try to go to sleep, because when you have a bad headache, it's debilitating, and you just like moving hurts, thinking hurts, right? And I always feel like sleep is a great healer. So I try to fix the issue and go to sleep, okay? Because if I'm dehydrated or haven't eaten, if I eat or drink, it's not going to make the headache go away right away. And remember, I'm not going to pop the Advils or anything like that. So I try to hydrate myself or eat and go to sleep. If sleep could be the issue, the reason why the headache is triggered, then I just try to go to sleep, right? So that's always what I would do. Sometimes I would drink ginkgo tea. And there are times it took a couple of days before, my headache would go away. But then a few years ago, I just discovered CBD oil for headaches, right? And so now what I do when I have a headache, I will do those things. I'm like, am I dehydrated? Is it the food? So I fix those things. And I take CBD oil or CBD tincture. Okay? And then if I can go to sleep, I do that as well. So it's a combination of the things. Somebody said that they boil habanero peppers on the stove and inhale the steam for migraines and sinus headaches. Works every time. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Never tried that. Thank you for sharing that. And it makes sense to inhale something through the nose because it can go directly to the brain. And some people say that smoking cannabis helps their headaches. For me, it doesn't. When I have a headache, the last thing I want to do is smoke cannabis. I do not. Okay, I'm like, I have an aversion to it when I have a headache, even though there are people who say they smoke and it helps their headache. For me, the CBD oil really helped. And so the other day, I think today is Thursday, so on Tuesday I had, I wanted to work out in the gym, and I had 2 dance classes to go to, an Afro-Brazilian dance class, no, Afro-Cuban and Afro-Brazilian. And the Afro-Cuban class I was in was like, we were doing straight warrior dances in that class, okay? We're doing like Haitian Afro-Cuban dances. It's very powerful. When I say powerful, I mean high intensity movements, fast twitch muscle fibers. Your head is involved, your whole torso, your shoulders, everything, okay? Footwork, fast, it was really, really fiery. So I'm like, in order for me, I cannot do this if I have a headache. So what I did was, that morning, I used some CBD tincture, and I drank a bunch of watermelon juice because I felt like I might have been dehydrated, and then I ate some good food. And my headache actually went away pretty quickly, okay? I went to the gym. I had it was maybe there 5%. I went to the gym, did a leg workout. It was pretty intense. I was able to get through that. And then I was able to go to the dance classes and dance for 3 hours and get through it. But towards the end of the dance class, I could feel it kind of lurking back again a bit. So when I came home, I actually drank some tea. And this time I put some THC oil in my tea and consumed that and went to sleep. Okay? So, yeah. And so when you have to... There are people who have to go to work and they don't have the ability to take a time out to nurse themselves. People feel the pressure to just pop a pill because you have to get rid of the headache because you have to perform. For me, I just know how damaging NSAIDs are, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. That's the Advil and all that stuff. They can cause ulcers. They are highly addictive. Okay. There's a lot of issues with them. I don't mess with any of that. I'm very anti-pharmaceutical. So me doing my master's degree in medical cannabis science was the perfect thing for what it is that I'm about, because there's other herbs and things, and sometimes it's food. There's a lot of different things between nutrition and herbs and physical things that you can do to help with all your health problems. But pharmaceuticals just throw your body further off balance, and it doesn't get to the root of the issue. Because to me, I'm thinking if I'm having a headache, my body's trying to tell me something. Sometimes people have such excruciating pain, and it's lasting for long periods of time and nothing is helping you. You might have a deeper issue, right? But I really pay attention to my body and how I'm taking care of it. And then it's it's easier to get dehydrated because, especially if you drink alcohol, you could think back the past 3 days. Did I drink any alcohol? Did I drink caffeine? Both of those things are dehydrating. Somebody could have had a cup of coffee yesterday and the day before and had a couple of drinks in the evening. And even if you had water during the day, like I said, water is not hydrating. Water is not hydrating. When the reason why alcohol and caffeine is dehydrating is because it's pulling electrolytes out of your system. When you are expending yourself, when you're working out physically and you're sweating, you're losing electrolytes, right? So losing those electrolytes, the sodium and the potassium, the blood sugar levels dropping, that is what dehydration is, okay? So a lot of times people think, I've been drinking water, but you could drink so much water that it dehydrates you, okay? Water can be dehydrating because you drink so much water that it washes out your, dilutes your electrolyte balance, okay? So I will not take an Advil or Tylenol to save my life, okay? Will not do it. Now, THC, I tend to like CBD tinctures, and the tinctures work even faster. This is an alcohol-based tincture, right? So you have, in the cannabis world, some people call cannabis oil tincture. Cannabis oil is not a tincture. Cannabis oil is cannabis oil. It's oil infused with cannabis. Tinctures, okay, In any kind of herbology, tinctures are made with alcohol, with strong alcohol. And you put it under your tongue, because that's when it absorbs really quick. So when you put a tincture, alcohol-based tincture, under your tongue, it absorbs very quickly. It burns, but it's more medicinal and it acts very quickly. And I find that the CBD tinctures help me even more than the oil. But if I don't have that, next best thing, I'll have CBD oil, which is CBD flower infused in the coconut oil, and I put it in my tea that I have in the morning with raw milk and ginger chai, some heavy cream, a little bit of yerba mate. Yerba mate. So I will put some cannabis CBD oil in there. If I don't have CBD, then I use THC. Okay, I use THC oil or tincture because I feel like the THC helps as well. For me, I feel like the CBD might help more when it comes to my headaches. But a lot of studies show that THC also helps people with headaches. So sometimes it's like a personal thing, and you see what works for you. If I have CBD and THC, I'll use CBD and then maybe some THC as well. But if I don't, and all I have is THC, I'll use that. Okay, and then I'll also try to sleep, and I try to fix that issue. Have I not eaten? Okay, and when I eat, I'm going to eat something really nourishing, really nutrient dense. Lately, I've been doing a lot, so I've really been craving beef. Okay, and I'm done with this video. I'm about to go to the gym again. And weight room first, and then I'm going to a Haitian dance class this evening for 90 minutes. And then I'm going to a Haitian dance class tomorrow for 90 minutes. And then I'm going to a Haitian dance class on Saturday. And then after that, I'm going to go to a Congolese class, okay? So doing the dancing and the weightlifting, whew, boy, okay? Because a lot of these dances are very fast twitch muscle fibers. If you don't know, maybe it's time for me to do an updated video about muscle fiber types, because we have slow twitch and fast twitch muscle fibers. Fast twitch muscle fibers are the muscle fibers that give our body shape. They are the muscle fibers that are responsible for strength and power, explosiveness. They have a lot of strength and power, and they burn out very quickly, within 30 seconds or less. Slow twitch muscle fibers are what goes on continuously at a moderate intensity. So when somebody is jogging for miles or cycling for miles, you're going continuously at a moderate intensity. And those muscle fibers are aerobic, meaning they use oxygen. Fast twitch muscle fibers are anaerobic, which means they do not use oxygen. What they actually use is creatine, okay? And creatine naturally occurs in red meat, okay? Which makes sense why I'm craving red meat so much. Because, like, lately, I'm like, I don't want chicken. I don't want seafood. I want some beef. I've been on a beef kick, okay? And it's really because I've been doing so much. And beef is the most nutrient dense. Has the most iron, the most B vitamins, the most protein, the most creatine, okay? And there's a whole bunch of other virtues of red meat, okay? I'm going to do a video about that, on the virtues of red meat. Then I'm going to do a video about pork. Somebody in this question had asked me about getting rid of chest mucus. First, I'm going to say that mucus is a part of our immune system, right? Mucus is a part of our immune system, and in order for our mucous membranes to be healthy, we need a good amount of vitamin A. Vitamin A and vitamin D are both critically important for our immune system, and they both occur in the same foods. What foods are those? Liver, cod liver oil. If you're of a certain age, I don't care where you came from on the planet, you were given cod liver oil as a kid, okay? Cod liver oil is really high in vitamin A and D. As liver, cod liver oil, we have fish eggs, shellfish. Shellfish is high in vitamin D. I can't remember if it's high in vitamin A. Mostly everything that's high in vitamin D is also high in vitamin A. So I'm going to say shellfish, grass-fed butter, but the ghee is even more nutrient dense. And pork, okay? So lard and pork fat, very high in vitamin A and D. So these are all animal foods, right? But vitamin A is critical for the integrity and health of our mucous membranes. Our mucous membranes are the vaginal canal. You have mucous membranes in your nose, in your mouth, right? Our body produces mucus to engulf whatever infectious organism or irritant that's in the body and to move it out. Okay, so that's why people might sneeze, cough, blow their nose. Their body's trying to get it out. Now, there's that regular immune reaction, And then you have an immune system is overreacting, like with COVID-19, where people were getting so much that it was like overcoming them when they couldn't breathe and it was killing them. So when you have like an overproduction of it, where you literally can't stop coughing up mucus and it's like choking you out, and that overreaction, okay, number one, you probably have very low vitamin D levels, okay? Because vitamin D modulates that whole response. So many studies have shown people with low vitamin D, they have more upper respiratory tract infections, flus, colds, stuff like that. So if you're getting upper respiratory tract infections, colds, flus, this and that, clear sign that you have low vitamin D and probably low vitamin A as well. But in the event that somebody has a whole bunch of mucus in their chest and trying to get out, one of the things you could do is, like somebody had said they breathe in habaneros, you can take eucalyptus, maybe mugwort, okay, because they pull things out. Maybe some ginger, maybe oregano, and put it in a pot of hot water, okay? So boil the water, put the oregano, a little ginger, and a bunch of eucalyptus or mugwort, put it in there, cover it, turn the fire off, let it sit there for about 5 minutes, and then you can remove the top, but of course you want to move your face, you don't want to burn your face, so you move the top, let that first heated steam go, and then you'll cover your face with a towel and breathe in that air. Now you don't want to burn your face, so you don't want to burn your nostrils, so you want to be far enough that you're not burning yourself, and breathing in that air is one way. And then also drinking those teas. Like one thing I do when I feel like a few days ago, I felt like my body was trying to get sick as well. I really get colds and flus, okay? Where do they sell? They sell mugwort. They sell it in herbal stores. There's an herbal shop I go to in the D.C. area. If you message me, I think it's in Silver Spring. There's a good herb shop I go to. I forget what it's called. I think it might be called Smile Herbs, but I can't remember. But herb shops, or you could order online. But like maybe about 5-6 days ago, my body felt like it was trying to get sick. Like it was trying to get a cold or something. And I never get colds. I'm not one of those people that get colds and flus every year, and I don't. Okay, I do not. But I felt my body was trying to. So what I do at that point is I drink green tea and echinacea. I take a green tea bag and an echinacea tea bag. Both of those. Both of them together are more powerful than them solo. Okay, so echinacea by itself or green tea by itself is not as powerful as the two of them together. And so anytime I feel like my body's trying to get sick, I drink green tea and echinacea, and it quickly knocks it out. Now, echinacea, talking about cannabis, and the reason why cannabis works for so many things in our body is because we have something called the endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system is a series of receptors all over every organ in our body. We have CB1 and CB2 receptors that cannabinoids bind to, either cannabinoids that our bodies make, which are called endocannabinoids, or cannabinoids from cannabis, which are called phytocannabinoids. That's the THC, CBD, CHCV, CBG, all these different cannabinoids. Now, they bind to cannabinoid receptors, especially THC in particular. Now, echinacea, okay, echinacea has properties that actually bind to the CB2 receptors. The CB2 receptors are involved in the immune system. So echinacea is one of the few plants, besides cannabis, that has cannabinoids that actually affects our endocannabinoid system. And our endocannabinoid system is regulated, our immune system is regulated by our endocannabinoid system. So I already knew echinacea was amazing at stimulating our immune system, especially when you're getting sick and you have something to fight. You don't really want to drink echinacea if you're fine. And the thing is, but when you have something to fight, you want that echinacea, and you want it in combination with the green tea. So I would drink that as well. If I had an over buildup of mucus, okay, I would breathe those herbs, I would drink those teas. And I would definitely make sure I got my vitamin D and my vitamin A levels up. And vitamin D and vitamin A are fat soluble, so if you start taking them now, it's going to take at least a month for them to actually build up in your system. Okay, so that's why you always want to be prepared and just taking cod liver oil and trying to be conscious of taking vitamin A and eating vitamin A and vitamin D rich foods. You do not want to go buy the supplement. You do not want to go buy a vitamin D pill or go buy a vitamin A pill, because that stuff is artificial. It's not the same thing that's found in nature, and it can cause a lot of problems. It can be very toxic. So you always want to get it from food. And the way you get vitamin A and D from food is eat liver, take cod liver oil. Fermented cod liver oil is what I recommend. There's a great company called Green Pastures, okay? You can eat lots of butter. You can never eat too much butter, especially grass-fed butter. If you can get raw butter, even better. But at least grass-fed butter, seafood. So you can make, like salmon and shrimp and shellfish is high in vitamin D. Not all seafood, but the cold water fish like salmon and then like shrimp and stuff is high in vitamin D and A. You can make like a buttery sauce when you consume that. Fish eggs, bacon fat or pork fat, okay? Ghee, okay? All those things are high in vitamin A and D. But I definitely suggest on a regular basis taking cod liver oil like every day, okay? So, because that just balances out your immune system. But I would say, that's how I deal with headaches. And also, other thing that gives me headaches is chemicals. Like if I'm around, I really can't stand artificial air freshener. Like going to somebody's house and they have plug-ins, or you get in their car and they have like those trees that people hang in the car and you have the artificial air freshener. That stuff makes me sick, okay? It instantly gives me a headache. It makes my throat hurt. I can't stand it. And so air quality is really important to me, which is another issue with even traveling abroad, because a lot of countries, I've noticed a lot of Caribbeans and a lot of Africans, and I noticed this even like in America, like, and Indian people, when I get into like a taxi cab or go into a business, a lot of times people who are using really strong artificial air freshener, they're Caribbean, African, or East Indian. I just noticed that a lot. When I'm in Chicago, when I go in stores, it's run by Indian people. A lot of times I get sick as soon as I walk in the store, because they have the most toxic incense burning. I remember when I was in Senegal, my Airbnb, when I was in Dominican Republic, like the Airbnbs, they have like chemicals spraying. Like that stuff makes me sick and it gives me a headache as well. And so a lot of times I don't think about that until I'm in those situations. So if you are somebody who is struggling from headache issues, you want to ask yourself, what in your environment is causing it? Are you not eating right? Is there something in your food? Because if you're just eating regular food, you could be eating food that has MSG in it. Because MSG on food is many different things besides, it doesn't just say MSG. MSG in food could be texturized protein. It could be listed as soy protein isolate. It could be listed as amino acids. I mean, a lot of different things, right? What about incense or oils? Most incense are toxic, okay? There is like one company I know out of, I think, Arizona that makes like, I think it's called Tom Souls, Tomsolls, or no, Fred Souls. That company makes good incense. But most incense people use is not made from, it's very toxic. Just Google it. Just Google like toxic incense and you'll see all the articles and stuff talking about what incense are really made out of. If you are getting quality, like this is one crystal store I go to in New York that sells hand-rolled frankincense and myrrh incense. I don't know if they're from Ethiopia, but they're like hand-rolled and they're really quality. But 99% of incense is not quality, okay? The Nag Champa that people burn, complete toxic, okay? Same thing with candles, okay? Unless you're burning like a beeswax candle or your candle's made from tallow, most of the candles are also toxic, scented or not. And they're putting like anything that's like fragrance. People have fragrance in their laundry detergent. All that stuff makes me itch and sneeze. If I'm even around someone who like puts it on their clothes or their sheets, it makes me itch and sneeze. Okay, so a lot of people are not even aware that those chemicals they have plugins in their house. They're using fabric softener and scented detergent. Those things could be triggering headaches too. The chemicals in your food could be triggering headaches, chronic dehydration, not sleeping enough, all of those things. And for me, again, I like to listen to what my body's telling me, not just pop some painkiller that's going to mask everything. Because if your body's trying to tell you you're dehydrated, or you need to go to sleep, or you haven't eaten enough, and you override that by saying, I'm just going to pop an Advil. A lot of times that problem is going to turn into something worse, okay? Because you're not bringing your body back into balance. Your body's off balance, and you're not doing what you need to do to make it balance. You're popping pills to mask it, okay? So when I use cannabis in conjunction with fixing, because I know you don't just get a headache for no reason, so I try to fix what was the trigger. Then I'm using the cannabis oil, and the cannabis oil doesn't just take it away like you take an Advil. It takes it away so I can function, but if you don't fix the issue, it's kind of like lingering in the background. It lingers in the background until you really fix the issue. It stops enough for you to function, but it's still there a little bit, so you know you have work to do when you haven't fixed the issue yet. Whereas when you pop an Advil or different NSAIDs, which stand for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and other pharmaceuticals, it just masks the pain, stops your body's ability to heal, and causes a bunch of other issues like ulcers and other problems, you know? So, yeah, I mean, and even and then, yeah, because yesterday I was gonna go to an Afro-Brazilian and a Congolese dance class, but my body was like shot yesterday because today's Thursday. Okay, so on Tuesday, I went to the gym. I did an intense leg workout, okay, with weights. Then I walked up 9 flights of stairs, okay, in a building. I walked up 9 flights of stairs. Then I walked up 9 flights of stairs carrying some stuff. Then I went to 3 hours of intense Afro-Cuban, Afro-Brazilian dance. So Wednesday, my body was done for, right? That was yesterday. So I wanted to go to class, but I'm like, not only was my muscles so like beat up, but then it was like my headache started to come back a little. So I rested, okay? Yesterday I rested. Today, I nourished myself this morning, consumed some CBD tincture, drank some watermelon juice, and my headache is fine. Not my headache is fine. My head is fine. I don't have the headache. I'm ready to go to the gym and lift weights again. And I'm ready to go dance really hard for 90 minutes, right? So it's all about listening to my body and taking the time to correct whatever that issue is, whatever my body is trying to tell me the problem is. You know, and headaches, you know, when you're doing things naturally, you have to attack it from multiple things. And a lot of times it may not be as quick as popping a pharmaceutical, okay? It may not be as quick as popping a pharmaceutical, but it's like you want to be tuned into your body, because I've had headaches so bad that I'm like, do I have a brain tumor? Like, I really ask myself that question, because when your head is killing you and you have a migraine, it almost feels like you're dying, okay? So, and you don't want to ignore those things, and then you do have a serious problem, and it just turns into a worse problem. So it's all about paying attention to what your body's trying to tell you. So I think I've said what I need to say in this video. Now, as I'm doing this video, there's a bunch of other things I want to talk about. Like, I want to do a video about how the endocannabinoid system and how it affects your muscles, okay? Because there's a lot of talk about how our brain, our neurons produce endocannabinoids, but so do our muscles, okay? And cannabis has an amazing effect on our muscles and recovery. So I'll be doing a video on that soon. And I'll probably do a video on cannabis and women's health soon. I've done some videos on cannabis and orgasms and how it affects a woman that way. But there's so many applications for women's health. Yeah, so anyhow, I'm going to get going. And it's so funny because when people complain about the winter, it's like, you know, I'm from New York City. I live in Chicago. I've lived in Pittsburgh before. So I've always lived in cold cities. I lived in Atlanta for 6 months, but other than that, I've always lived in cold cities. And it's really not that serious. All you do, I take a shower, I moisturize, okay? Moisturizing is critical. Lock in all that moisture, okay? Get dressed. You know, you just dress properly and keep it moving, you know? Like, I have a car now, but I didn't have a car for years. And all I did was, you dress warm, you go outside, you start walking fast. I go to the gym. I work out in the gym. I'm burning up because I'm working out in the gym. I put all my clothes back on. Go outside, walk with some speed. I'm not cold. I go to my dance class. I'm dancing hard. I'm like, there's sweat dripping down the walls. It's so hot in those dance classes. okay? Hot. You're done. You're like, oh my God, I'm so hot. Put your clothes back on. Go outside. Walk fast. You will not be cold. It could be 12 degrees outside. I am in Chicago. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ice skating. 12 degrees sounds cold, but when you start ice skating, you build up so much heat. People be outside at 12 degrees with a hoodie, with a freaking regular shirt on because you're hot. Because you're doing stuff. So you get off that ice and walk fast to the bus, to your car, whatever. It's not a big deal. Actually, the winter, to me, it builds you, it makes you strong. It's like, it makes you tough. And I appreciate the seasons. And the winter makes me want to eat. Because in the summertime, when it's really hot, I can't eat like that. I don't want to be in the kitchen cooking nothing. I don't want to eat till the sun goes down. It takes my appetite away. So in the winter months, you want to eat more. You eat more hearty food. And then, go get your workout in, dress properly, get in your car, turn on the heat. If you don't have a car, just walk fast, keep it moving. As long as you keep it moving, you can't be cold, okay? So stop whining, okay? And then people talk about shoveling the snow. I've always lived in buildings, so I never had to shovel the snow. The building does it. But if I didn't have to shovel the snow, think of it as a workout. So what? Like, we are meant to be active in our life. The gym is one thing. But in our everyday life, we're supposed to be active. And most Americans are so freaking lazy, okay? Most Americans don't even walk up that many stairs every day or walk anywhere. That's the one good thing about living in New York City, is that even if you have a car, you walk. Because you might park 5 blocks from where you're going. So you walk. But in your everyday life, you should be doing something physical. So if it snows and you got to shovel the snow, it's a workout. Go get it in. And if your body is... You have a strong back, a strong core, you've been training, it's nothing, it's fun. And then you build up heat. And, more power to those people in California. But I'm going to say I would deal with the snow over fires and hurricanes any day. Because with the snow, you don't have to flee your house and hope that your stuff will be there when you get back. All you have to do is sit still in your house, cook good food, eat good food, and chill. And let it snow. Okay? And it's a beautiful thing. All right, that's it. So anyhow, take care of yourselves, people. I'll talk to you later. Make sure you follow me on my YouTube channel and my Instagram channel. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.